Sure. Morning, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of the first 4 here in Dayton. The first press conference of the day will be our student athletes from Holy Cross. We will be joined by Malachi Alexander and Robert Champion, and then we will be joined by the head coach of the Crusaders, Bill Carmody. Satellite coordinates for today, the format is 1080i, MPEG 4-420. The data rate is 11.914. The symbol is 7.2. The FEC is 5/6. DVB S2 QPSK. And we will also be joined today by Michigan. And we ask that when you come into the press conference, you please silence your cell phones. There is no video recording allowed of the press conferences, but you can use the AV distribution site across the hall. Go out the back of the room, take a left, straight across the tunnel. Also, when asking a question, we please ask that you identify yourself by name and affiliation before asking your question. Raise your hand. We'll bring the mic around to you. And then when we have our student athletes up here, that you please direct your question to a specific student athlete. Also, for post-game procedures tonight, the winning team will go first, which will be opposite of what you see when you head to first and second round sites. We'll have the winning team first, then the losing team. The cooling off period for each team, the winning team, it is essentially 10 minutes. Then the locker room is open for media access. Once that cooling off period is over, for the visiting team, the cooling off period is essentially 15 minutes after the game ends, and that at which point the visiting locker room will be open to media access after about 15 minutes after the game has ended. You guys need me to keep talking? Cool.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Are you able to hear me okay? Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. NCAA first 4. NCAA first 4. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Test, test. Test, 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 test. 1, 2, 3. NCAA. Test, test. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3.
You guys good? All right, we're now being joined by our student athletes from Holy Cross. You guys come on up. We just ask that you please silence your cell phones. There's no video recording allowed or flash photography. We also ask that you keep your recording devices for audio off the table. For transcripts of this press conference, you can go to ncaa.com/transcripts. We'll also set out hard copies next to the entrance to the media work area, which is upstairs, up the hall. When asking a question, we just ask that you please raise your hand. We'll bring the mic around to you. Identify yourself by name and affiliation, and then we ask that you direct your question to a specific student-athlete. So open the floor for questions. Here in the front.
Jen Tolan from the Worcester Telegram. Malachi, what does it feel like to be out here?
It feels great. I think the team is over, the whole excitement behind, figuring out who we play, like the selection and all of that. And I think we're ready to get focused on, get a good practice in today and get focused on Southern and take care of business while we're out here.
Here in the front on the right.
Dave Lamb, Boston Herald. Malachi, considering where you guys came from during the season and the run you went on, can you think of anything in your career or in your life, for that matter, that's more surprising?
Not really. I mean, the fact that we were able to do it wasn't surprising. It was just really gratifying to see the way we came together at the end of the season. Just because we, it was so rough during our regular season, and our guys really came together well and gained a lot of confidence as we made our run through the playoffs, and it's really gratifying to be where we are now.
Here in the front again on the left.
Rob, what have you learned about Southern, and what will be the keys to beat them tomorrow night?
Well, they're a good team. I mean, everyone that's here right now is obviously a good team, a team that, in their case, won their conference. They have over 20 wins, and any time a team has over 20 wins, they can play. And we went over their personnel yesterday. They got, experienced guards, guys that can really score the ball. But, I think that, throughout our run, we've been focusing more on us, and what we have to do to be successful. So obviously, we're going to go through some of Southern stuff and things that they do and players and things like that. But I think as long as we keep focusing on, what we need to do to win the game, then we'll be all right.
Here on the right in the front.
Hi, Mitch Stacy from the Associated Press. If you both respond to this, given your regular season record and what you had to do to get to the tournament, how does that affect how you prepare for this game? Do you come in with a chip on your shoulder, or what, to try to prove that you belong here?
Robert, can you answer that first, please?
Yeah, I think that there's some type of chip on our shoulder, kind of show that, we prove that we should be here. We definitely think we should be here. I don't think our record is very reflective of how our seasons went. I think that we lost a lot of close games, especially, towards the end of the year, and, we could kind of see if we changed a few things here, a few things there, we could turn some of those losses into wins, and, that's what we're able to do. So I think there is some type of chip on our shoulder, and, obviously we just want to keep playing, and we're going to do whatever it takes to keep that going.
Malachi?
Yeah, I would go along with what Rob said. We can't get away from what got us to this point. I think we were always playing with that chip on our shoulder because teams would look down on us as like we didn't deserve to be playing in the game, and even when our playing game in our own league tournament, we were the underdogs going into that. So I think we've stuck with that, and it adds a sort of toughness to our team that I think will easily translate over.
Here in the front again.
Dave Lamb, Boston Herald. Robert, you mentioned, we needed to change a few things here and there. What were those things that you needed to change? Because it's a dramatic turnaround.
Yeah, it's changing our defenses was key for us. Going to the 1-3-1 helped us out a lot. And, we tried to do some things with it earlier in the year and weren't very successful with it. And I think it just goes to, just playing harder and trusting it a little bit more. I think during the regular season when it wasn't really working for us, sometimes I wouldn't trust it, or, try and do a little too much when, we just had to, trust our teammates that our slides would work and that the defense would take care of itself. And then I think the other thing that was key for it is finishing everything with a rebound. I think during the regular season we struggled to rebound out of the 1-3-1, and I think, over this past run, we've done a lot better job of limiting teams to one possession, which I think is also going to be very key in the Southern game.
Here on the right.
Hi, Courtney Rakoviak. I'm writing for the Boston Globe. What was Sunday night and Monday morning like on campus? I mean, after the announcement, when it was official, before you left for Dayton.
Robert, can you answer that first, please?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. This whole week has been a lot of fun around campus. Everyone is coming and talking to you and supporting you, and not just around campus, but the city of Worcester has been great to us too. So, the selection party was great. We had a lot of fans come out and be with us, and we're happy to be able to share that with them. And I think it's just great overall for Holy Cross and the school, and just kind of show everybody what we're about.
Malachi?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. It's been crazy. It's just been a dream last Sunday night. Going to Monday morning. It's all pretty much been like a fantasy, just because you envision that growing up, and like I said earlier, I'm just very grateful. I know everyone else on the team is as well, just to be in this position.
Here in the front.
Malachi, what can you say about Carl Charles and the way he's contributed this season?
He's been huge for us. The way he's been able to come in and make an immediate impact, a huge impact as a freshman, is pretty remarkable. And even our playoff run, he's been very big for us. And I have no doubt he'll show up tomorrow for us.
Here in the front.
Malachi, was there ever a point during the season when things weren't going well, but you showed signs that, maybe we're not this bad, we are better than this? Was there a sign that then showed itself in the tournament?
For sure. There was plenty of signs, even in the regular season, when we were taking losses. We would just have bad starts to our games, but we were always able to fight back and make the game competitive. And we knew if we could put that fight together for 40 minutes, we would stand a chance. And then, like Rob said, towards the end of the season, we were able to start putting runs together, getting rebounds and key possessions. And then when we made our run, we just played hard for 40 minutes, and we trusted ourselves, trusted our teammates, and that's what you saw. I think we just came together as a team at the right time.
Any further questions? Yep, here in the front.
Do you dare look ahead to see how fun that would be to play a top-ranked team after this point? Would you even allow yourself to do that?
Malachi, can you answer that first, please?
It's definitely in the back of our heads, but our sole focus is Southern right now and tomorrow's game. But you can't help but to think about playing the 1 seed and how huge that would be for us. So it's in the back of our minds, but our focus is Southern.
Robert?
Yeah, same as in Malachi. I think part of the reason why we did so well in the tournament is that we didn't, in the Patriot League tournament, is that we didn't look forward to the next game. We focused on the game that was playing, and we knew, going to the Army game that if we win, we got a chance to play in the championship against Lehigh. And, so obviously every time you play a game, what the next game's in the back of your mind. But I think we've done a great job of focusing on the game at hand, and I think that's what we'll do for Southern too.
Here on the right.
After your practice today, what's your plan for the rest of tonight? I mean, any pregame rituals, any more studying of Southern? What are you thinking?
Robert?
Well, we're focusing right now on practice today, and just kind of taking it, one step at a time. We're going to go back and I'm sure relax, watch the games, the two games tonight. We're looking forward to doing that, kind of seeing what the crowd is going to be like and just the environment. But personally, I don't have any pregame rituals or anything, and I'm not sure if anybody else on the team does, but I think we'll just kind of keep doing what we've been doing throughout the tournament, the Patriot League tournament, for this one too.
Malachi?
Yeah, same. I think it's important that the team just relaxes and, and enjoys watching the games today, and just stay off our feet so make sure we're ready for tomorrow.
Here in the front right.
Malachi, you were a player of the tournament. Is that the best run of games you've ever had?
Yeah, I would say so. I think that I would give a lot of that credit to my teammates just because they gave me a lot of confidence going into the playoffs. And when I had that big game against Loyola, they continued to tell me, keep shooting the ball, stay aggressive. And I just tried to do that for them throughout the rest of the playoff run. So, I would say it's probably my best stretch of games.
Any further questions for Malachi or Robert? All right, both of you guys, thank you for your time. Good luck tomorrow night against Southern. The head coach of the Crusaders, Bill Carmody, will join us at 11:40. It's about 10 minutes from now. All right, we're now being joined by the head coach of the Holy Cross Crusaders, Bill Carmody. Coach would not like to make an opening statement, so we'll just
I'll make one.
and then we'll open the floor for questions. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah. Well, I guess everyone says they're happy to be here, and certainly we are. As a team representing Holy Cross, and it's great to be in Dayton because it's here every year, and the people greet you and are so happy that you're here. You sell out every game. I mean, it's just a wonderful place, and the program itself has had such a rich tradition of basketball success. I mean, I remember when I was in high school, Donnie May, most of you never heard that name, but he was a lefty. He was probably first-team All-American. Has anyone ever heard of him?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, a great player. And I just remember looking at him and just saying, wow, this guy, something special. And it's continued for, 60 years now, whatever it's been. So we are happy to be here representing Holy Cross and the Patriot League. And, we'll see what we can do.
Questions for Coach? Right here in the front.
Hi, Bill. The guys seem pretty relaxed. I mean, do you think they've kind of moved on from all the excitement of the last few days to really get focused on the game tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone, you have all these teams in the tournament, and there's that level of excitement. We had a few days more because we knew we were, in. So they had 3 or 4 days to, people say have fun. All the people that never coach say that. And now, I think they'll get down to business, but you still have to enjoy it and, play loose, play free. And I think they're, at a good point.
Here in the front on the right.
Coach Dave Lamb with the Boston Herald. You've been here before, three times in the tournament. What can you do? What can you say to make this not be too big of a stage for them?
Well, you have smart guys, and they recognize, all the trappings and all, and I think that that they're pretty mature, and I think they can put those things aside. And like I said, we've been in a pretty good place the last 2 weeks, and so I really don't want to coach that much and to upset the balance of things. Their heads are just where we want them to be, and we've had a couple of practices just working on our own stuff. A little bit yesterday on some Southern, and after this we'll go down and have a little shoot around out here, and then we'll practice for about an hour and 15 minutes or something. But I think they're at a good place, and like I said, most guys these days, they've been on TV, they've spoken to reporters, and this is extra special, no question, but I think they know how to handle it.
Here in the front left.
What have you learned about Southern?
They're, pretty explosive team, like to get up and down, well coached, have some guy, balanced scoring with, inside outside kind of game. So, what you learn in a few days and what you can impart on your team. I don't minimize it, but I think you have to do what you've been doing, and then tweak it a little bit according to the team that you're playing. So I think they're a very good team, and they're playing well because they're here right now. And they won a tournament. It wasn't like they won early, and so that you're catching them on a high note.
Here in the front right.
What little you've been able to see of Southern, do they remind you of anyone in conference as far as style of play, or even out of conference for that matter, that you've faced?
It's just the style of play. I mean, I don't know particular teams that they necessarily remind me of, but like I said, they play multiple defenses, man-to-man, 2-3 zone. They'll pick up full court, three-quarter court, things we've seen before, but different teams do them better than other teams, and they seem to be pretty effective, in certain areas, forcing turnovers, and so it's just that style, all right? So we're going to have to, take care of the basketball.
Here on the right, in the back.
I know you said you have been kind of relaxing a little bit since, in the days since the.
No, my
tournament,
players
the players
have.
have been. What have you been specifically asking your team to focus on in terms of areas to improve between the Lehigh game and tomorrow night?
We've just run practices, short, hard practices, and worked on precision in our offense, pretty much. Okay, just some of the things that I saw in the last few games. Even though we beat Bucknell, we played our best game of the year against Army, so we did well there. But and then Lehigh, things that I know we can do better. And so we showed some tape of the things that we did well and also some of the things that we can improve upon. So we worked on those things a little bit on the offensive end. And then defensive end, just, again, we won 4 games in like 8 days, and 3 of those games came down to the last play, last second, the last shot. And so it's not like we're blowing teams out. So there's a lot of things that we can work on, and we have.
You're in the front left.
Bill, what did you see in Carl Charles when you were recruiting him? And can you just talk a little bit about the season he's had up to this point?
Yeah, Carl, I saw him when I first took the job. I just got in the car and drove for about 3 days with one of my assistant coaches and just, seeing all open gyms because we had a couple scholarships and saw him and really liked him. It was in an open gym kind of situation. And but sometimes you get real excited when you see a guy and it colors you. So I just told him, listen, I like what I see, but if you have to make a decision, because it was getting pretty late in the next week, that's, I'm not going to give you a scholarship tonight. I'm coming back next Wednesday because it was a Wednesday night. And if I see what I see, then, then we can talk. So came back, and in 20 minutes I saw he was better. I actually, when I was driving home that night, or wherever I was driving to, I was saying I should have offered him the first night. Because he's a lefty, and you know how lefties are. They're just a little different. And he's from New Jersey. He could do everything pretty well. Nothing great, except he could see things. He saw the court, and he had a little fire in him. So went back the next Wednesday and went after him and just told him, and we got him. So we're real fortunate. He's had a terrific year for us.
In the front right.
Coach, considering the struggles you had during the regular season and what you just came off accomplishing, can you think of anything more surprising in your coaching career or in your life? Such a big surprise.
Well, I mean, it's up there. It's up there. I mean, it was, definitely a surprise. But as I told the team, and I've said this in the last couple of days a few times, that about 3 or 4 games before we got to the tournament, the last game, Boston University killed us. But before that, we lost 3 games, and they were all pretty close. And I thought we played pretty well. They seemed to be coming together pretty nicely. And I don't look for silver linings ever, just about. But then I went into and I said, listen, fellas, we lost, but there's something there. And, they started believing a little bit, I think. And then when we won the first game, Loyola, they really gained confidence and they started believing in themselves. And then, the team just took it from there.
Any further questions for Coach Carmody?
Thanks very much.
Bill, thank you for your time. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you.
$12:05. $12:05 for our Southern student athletes. All right, we are now being joined by our student athletes from Southern. Just a couple things. We just ask that you please silence your cell phones. There's no video recording allowed. You can take advantage of the AV stations across the hall. And that you just raise your hand before you have a question. We'll bring the mic around to you. Identify yourself by name and affiliation. And please direct your question to a specific student athlete. All right, we'll open the floor for questions. Here on the right, in front.
Les East with the Baton Rouge Advocate. Christopher, we know the type of non-conference schedule y'all play, and there are a lot of financial considerations that go into that. But playing the type of team, how does that translate to a situation like this, going on the road, playing some big-name programs early in the year? Is there something y'all learned back in November and December that's helpful over these next couple of days?
Yeah, it helps you get prepared for days like this because it's kind of a short turnaround. We didn't get to do the normal long scouting report against them. So it helps you prepare for this, and your system play a big part when you play these type of tournaments because you just got to be ready to play the next day.
Here on the right.
Dave Lamb, Boston Herald. You're going up against a team with a losing record. How much does that play into your mind as you enter this stage?
Adrian, can you answer that first? We'll go down the line.
I think at this point it don't matter about records because, it's been proven. Little teams beat big teams or big teams barely beat the little teams, just a nail biter. So at this point we're just going to play basketball.
Christopher?
You really can't look at their record because I think going into their conference tournament, they had a losing record. And look where they're at now. They won their conference tournament. So, it's kind of a fresh start for everybody. So you just got to come out and play to the best of your ability on that day.
Like my two teammates just said, at this time of the season, records go out the window. It's the top 65 teams, and we just want to come play 40 minutes, and at the end of the day, see how we come out.
Here in the front again, on the right.
Just to follow up on that, usually when a team from a smaller conference opens up play in the NCAA tournament, if they're not in the first four, everybody talks about Cinderella and the big upset and all, but you're on equal footing here. Is that a little bit odd to start play in the NCAA tournament and you don't have that whole David versus Goliath Cinderella thing? You're meeting one of your peers.
Trillian, if you can answer that first, we'll go down the line that way.
No, not really. Right now we're just happy to be here. It really wouldn't too much matter who we would be up against, because right now it's really about us. Like Sebo said, it's a short turnaround, so you're not really doing a long scout. The system that you play in really helps you a lot in situations like this. And we're just gonna be together.
Christopher?
No, not really, because even when we play the big teams, we don't feel like all the odds against us. So, we just come here to play, and regardless of it's a big school, small school, we go do what we have to do to win. We don't look at nobody as a big school or a small school just because they name.
Adrian?
Yeah, just to repeat what they said, it's our next game, and that's been our motto all year. Next game, no matter who we play, big school, small school, pro team, it's the next game. We approach it the same way.
Here on the left or the right?
Chris Jones, GoJagSports.com. Sebo, can you talk about what that year meant for you, not being able to play because of your blood clot, and getting back to the tournament at this point, what you've learned since then?
it's just a learning process. I kind of had to sit out. It was emotional because I never had an injury like that took me out the whole year. So I mean, I just learned from it and cheered my team on. They went on to win the conference that year. We didn't win the tournament, but we won the conference. So I just cheered them on, and it helped me get ready for moments like this. And it also made me more humble because my first year we went, and it's kind of like my second year we didn't, my third year we didn't, and it just humbled me every year so we can get back to the stage where we're at now.
Here in the front right.
A-Rod, what have you learned about Holy Cross the last couple of days, and what do you think will be the keys tomorrow night?
I learned they run the Princeton offense, so they really like the half court game rather than us like to get out on a break or dribble drive. So we think we're gonna focus on staying under, not let the Princeton cuts affect us as much as they did in their run to their championship in their conference tournament past couple weeks.
Any further questions for our student athletes? All right, guys, thank you for your time. Good luck tomorrow night. Yep. Good luck, guys. Next scheduled start for a press conference is 12:25. We will be joined by Roman Banks, the head coach of Southern, at 12:25. All right, we're now joined by the head coach of the Southern Jaguars, Roman Banks. Coach, if you'd like, you can start with an opening statement, and then we'll open the floor for questions.
Wow, since so many people in here, man, I don't know what to say. No, I'm just joking. Actually, Southern University is glad to be here. We really enjoyed the hospitality since we've been here, and this is a very exciting time for our basketball team, and we wish to go out and work very hard and perform to the best of our abilities. And once again, I would like to tell everyone that's involved with the opening of this tournament in Dayton that has really been incredible, and we appreciate your hospitality.
Questions for Coach Banks? Yep, here on the right.
Hi, Coach. From what you've seen, what impresses you most about Holy Cross, and what will it take to beat them tomorrow night?
I think one thing about them is that their bigs are able to step away from the basket and make a lot of three-point shots. Obviously, they style of play, I'm sure they recruit that for their style of play in the Princeton offense. But we are basically traditional bigs around the basket. So in a short period of time, we got to train our minds to go out and guard them beyond the three-point arc. And also that the Princeton offense itself, usually you're like 3 days or so to prepare for it, but we only have 24 to 48 hours to get ready for it. So we're going to do the best we can as it relates to making adjustments, because we usually kind of play up in your type defense. But obviously against the Princeton, that is some things that you have to change the style of play to be ready for.
Here on the right again.
They played a lot of 1-3-1 zone in the Patriot League tournament, which was really the key for them. Have you seen any of that this year, and what's your plan to attack that?
I don't know if we've really seen the type of 1-3-1 defense that they have played, amoeba style, and you know, obviously we just got a chance to start looking at them last night, and that's really been effective for them. I think that in studying them a little bit, they done went on a huge run changing their style of defense that they play. They give you a lot of different looks at it, and they're very active in it, and so that'll be something for us to go back and work on and study. We do have guys that I think that are able to get in the gaps of that 1-3-1, and I don't want to be a team that just sit out and shoot a lot of three-point shots against it.
Right here on the right, on the aisle.
Coach, talk about being one of the first 4 teams to open up this NCAA tournament, just kind of kicking things off in 2016.
Well, we consider it a pleasure to be here to open it up the tournament. We're not choosy. We're just glad to be among the elite here playing in this tournament, and our guys are very excited to be here. And I think that the excitement will ultimately give us the energy that we need to help us hopefully play well and perform well.
Again on the aisle.
Obviously, you know, you guys are preparing for Holy Cross, but today's practice, are you focusing on yourselves? And then at what point do you turn your attention to Holy Cross?
Well, later on today, we're talking about Southern basketball right now. And then after lunch today, we'll start talking about Holy Cross. We still have to give ourselves a chance as a staff to prepare ourselves a little bit more of what we want to do. But the guys in our mental session this morning, they starting to understand. And I think that we have a few guys that's been in our system that know the type of adjustment that we make against this team. Fortunate enough for us that we haven't played against Princeton, so to say, but we have played against some teams that has some of the styles in their offense. So we're going back to look at those teams that we played and put together a clip so our guys can see how we handle that, so they can have a visual. And I think right now, it's not about, you won't have a chance to learn a lot of things they do. You just want to have a couple of concepts going forward.
Here in the front right.
Roman, I think you've said during the season that at times when y'all have struggled offensively, it's been because you've gone against teams' set defense more than you would like. It seems that's the way Holy Cross likes to play. What are going to be the keys to getting a faster pace most of the time, and then also to being successful when you have to play at their pace?
I think that there's definitely two different styles of teams. And often I think that whoever can dictate the other team to play more to their style or to their tempo ultimately probably put themselves in a better position. And so I think that, you know, we'll want to do some things to speed it up some, and I'm sure they're going to do some things to control the tempo. But it's as quiet as it kept, they will, on missed shots, get the ball out and attack you. And so I think they have a nice blend of what they do. They well coached. I think the thing for us is also to be able to attack and speed the tempo up, and try not to face every time, walk the ball down and face their defense, but to get them rotating. But I think when we do face their defense, is that our mindset is to also challenge them on the inside, instead of coming out just taking a lot of perimeter shots. And hopefully we can get our perimeter guys to penetrate the gaps a little bit, something that we're good at, and create some other easy opportunities in the 1-3-1.
Any further questions for Coach Banks? All right, Roman, thank you for your time. Good luck tomorrow night.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Our next scheduled start for a press conference is at 12:50. We will be joined by Tulsa student athletes at 12:50.